Hey, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and we are doing another Kickstarter preview today. It is Soul Raiders. We're going to raid some souls up in here and see how this adventure game plays out. This is indeed an adventure game with card play, and what I'm showing you is the prologue, kind of the tutorial. It is very quick, and I'll be honest, I don't really know what the rest of the game will look like, but hopefully this will give you a taste of the core mechanics and what you might expect. And after a full solo playthrough, I'm going to do my impressions of the game so far, so feel free to use the timestamps or the chapters to skip to that whenever you like. And if you like what you see here on the One Stop Co-op Shop, don't forget we also have a streaming channel, a weekly podcast, a Discord, and a Patreon where you can show your support for us. Any way you want to be involved, we appreciate it. So the basic idea of Soul Raiders is that you are kind of a warrior wizard, and you can play with multiple characters cooperatively or solo, which I'm showing here. And each character has a unique deck of cards, as well as some upgradable cards unique to them that they can add to their deck. And based on whichever quest you're playing, again, we're doing the prologue here, you're going to move through these locations. The locations can flip to change the circumstances of what's going on. And you'll have goals and victory conditions in the scenario you're playing, which is based on player count. I just need 1 gold star to win with 1 player. But meanwhile, the party's vitae, their life value, is ticking down every turn, so that's kind of your game timer there, and also when you get damaged by enemies and other things like poison, it'll decrease. And when it goes fully around past the 0 spot to 30 again, you become more exhausted, which means you're drawing fewer cards each round. And if you eventually go down here, you lose. This threat value can also increase as the alarm gets raised higher and higher. If it gets up here, you lose. So basically, if you run out of life and time, or if the alarm gets too high, you lose the game. You have to get your stars, your victory conditions before that. But in terms of the actual gameplay, it's super simple. You'll generally draw 4 cards a turn at the start of each turn. Again, that'll change based on how you're exhausted. Each card will have a value in the upper right, and it'll also have either a running green icon or a fighting red icon, and some text at the bottom. There are also spells. I don't have one of those here, but those will have generally more complicated text. And the basic idea is you can play 1 or more cards to try to do tests, and tests will just have a value. Like if I have to move into a room and it's a 5 value, I could play just this 5, or I could play like a 4 and a 4, and the combat cards don't have to be used for combat, the movement cards don't have to be used for movement, but their bonuses only apply if they're used for the proper thing. So like if I use this card in a fight, it's not only worth 4, it's worth +2 for every red card, including itself. So it's a 6 in combat by itself. If I played it with this one, it would be an 8. So you can really like chain these together. You can also reserve cards instead of using them, and then in a future turn, you can discard 1 card to bring that card back. So you can kind of like put your best cards to the side if you don't want to use them that turn. Now there are a few more details with movement and combat, but that's really the basic idea of the game. You have generally 4 cards, you can spend their values to accomplish tests. That's what you need to know. Let's get into the actual playthrough, starting with some narrative. And if you don't want to hear me and my sonorous voice reading this, feel free to skip to the next timestamp. Just one more night stands between you and the sanctuary. All around you, your fellow hopefuls suppress tired yawns under the eyes of their watchful masters. You feel your eyelids start to droop. You should try to sleep, but you're too excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow. The Soul Raider Rite. Soul Raider. Such a deceptively simple name for everything you will become, the fights you will be called on to lead, all of the magical power you will wield. Those who prowl behind the fragile threshold of the veil know this name as well. When these fragmented souls rend the veil to sow despair among the living, the world remembers it. You are the sworn protectors of this world. Even the most inexperienced among you bear the mark of your battle against the wraiths. With each victory, a few more of these accursed spirits are freed from their eternal torment. One suddenly appears the second you feel yourself finally drifting off, an ephemeral shadow near the edge of the forest. Something seethes within you, pulling you back from the brink of sleep. In the blink of an eye, you're on your feet, preternaturally alert. Is it your adrenaline? The wraith shoots you a challenging look before disappearing into the trees. You feel the weight of your sword in your hand, though you don't recall having drawn it. You set off in pursuit of the creature with bounding strides. But something is amiss. The feeling grows with each step you take. The wraith you are chasing should be fleeing more quickly. He should be hungry for prey, villages to haunt. He shouldn't be drawing you deeper into this forgotten wood, this forest. Have you been here before? You don't think so, and yet the fatigue from your hunt must be slowing you down. The thick trees finally give way, opening onto a crumbling fortress perched on the edge of an abyss. Cautiously you approach through the hills overlooking the ruin. That's when you see them. Creatures that have no business leaving the pages of children's fairy tales are wandering freely behind the fortress's walls. Yes, those are goblins you see. But you're no child. You're soon to be a Soul Raider. Okay, so I've got an option here. I've played this through a few times, trying to see different options, and I have not done the 9 yet. I was saving that for you all. So I'm going to go around the fortress to get a closer look at the creatures lurking there. So I'm going to reveal location 9 and place my hero on it. And then I flip this as location 0. Nice art there, but there's nothing to actually do with this location, so get out of here. But here we go, location 9. There's a passageway on this side of the fortress that leads to a locked grate. Nearby, a staircase winds its way up to a ruined tower. So let's just look at what this location has. We got the number 9 here. This is the locked symbol. You'll see this is the A side of the location. There are ways to turn it to the B side. With that lock symbol there, we'll have to rotate to the B side by defeating an enemy or performing a test. Ones that don't have a lock, if you move away and come back, you go to the B side automatically. So a few things you want to see. Effects up here are when you enter the location, and sometimes they'll affect every hero entering there, sometimes they won't. In this case, we're going to spawn some monsters right away. And then at the bottom left of each location, you'll see what happens if heroes are there at the end of the round. In this case, if there's at least one monster left alive, they're going to raise the alarm and the threat will increase. And as the threat gets higher, more monsters spawn, other things become worse. You take more damage, more vitae every turn, so you don't want to do that. Then we've also got some tests on here. We've got movement options. So for 8 movement, we can move to location 1. For 6 movement, we can move to location 7. And that's just playing cards that add up to that value, and the green movement bonuses apply. And finally, we've got an optional test. Pick the lock on the grate in the passageway. This is a 5 test to flip to the B side. And you can only do tests like that if you are not engaged, which we're going to be with 2 monsters. And where does the 2 come from? Just to show you, this is the threat level. We start at the lowest level. Things like the alarm I mentioned will raise it up. And you start out in the blue area, which means you have a 2 value for spawning random monsters when there's a question mark, a 2 value for how much vitae you lose at the end of every round, your timer ticking down your life. But when you get into yellow, it becomes a 3. When you get into red, it becomes a 4. You don't want to get that high. So here I am, being almighty. I think these will be miniatures in the actual game. We're drawing 2 random enemies. We got a pretty tough guy and then a basic guy. In the upper left are abilities they have. This guy's going to block me from moving away. This guy's going to prevent me from using any magic spells. Bottom right are rewards for defeating the enemy. The average enemy doesn't have any, but this guy gives me a heroism token. 3 of those lets you level up by getting a permanent bonus card added to your deck. And finally, the shield value is how tough they are to defeat. Just like all the other tests I've talked about, you just play cards, and you can play a bunch of cards and then split them among enemies. So if I play combat value equal to a 9 or higher in this case, I can do 3 damage to this guy and 6 to that guy, kill them both. And on that note, let's see what cards we have. Nothing special for combat. I can get to 9. And I mentioned magic spells. I've drawn a bunch of them. You can play them for no special effect from the number. All you get is the bottom thing. In this case, I can put down a teleportation portal. If I get a second one, it lets me flip between those 2 locations. Lightning Bolt is pretty amazing. Inflict 1 wound on all enemies with a combat value of 3 or less. And inflict 1 wound means take away an entire shield, which for most enemies kills them outright. Some stronger enemies have 2 shields. Like if I played Lightning Bolt here, this guy's got 3 or less value, so he would just be dead. And then Foresight, choose a location number. If not revealed, show its A side. If revealed, show its B side, then place it back in its original position. Nice. So these are nice spells, and I don't love the idea of using them, but I want to defeat these guys. So I'm going to play 3, 6, 9. Unfortunately, no red bonuses, but that is enough to do 3 to him, 6 to him. They're both dead, so I just discard these cards. And from our friend here, I will get that 1 heroism token. 3, again, are needed to actually level up. And I have 1 card with 1 value left. I could put it in my reserve, but then I have to discard a card in a future hand to actually get it back to my hand. So instead, let's use some foresight and look at an upcoming location. And here I've got the option to go to 7 or 1. 1 I've been to, that's like the other place you can start, so let's see what 7 is like. All right, so let's see. It says, I surprise a goblin who's dozing on a straw mattress. I can interrogate him. And interesting, there's actually no like negative repercussions for going here. There's no enemies that spawn. Then I can go back to location 9 or jump down to location 1. Oh, and if I stay here at the end of the round, it flips to its B side. So yeah, we might go there. It doesn't seem like a too dangerous spot. I want to see what that goblin has to say. But for now, it goes back to where it was before. It doesn't count as a revealed location, which matters because since this one doesn't have a lock icon, if I moved here, it would flip over to its B side in a future visit. But right now, it's like I've never seen it. I just used a spell to kind of get a peek. All right, and with that, it's the end of a round. I have no more cards to play. If there were enemies, I would get attacked, but they're all dead. So I just lose 2 VT. Again, every single round, I'm counting down based on my current threat value. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, I'm getting lots of spells. Another lightning bolt. Awesome. Invisibility. This one is great. Like if a lot of enemies are on you, you can use it to sneak away from them. A very strong attack card. A pretty nice movement card. Oh, and by the way, I should have said there was no effect at the end of last round because, again, alarm requires at least one enemy to be at my location. There was no one there to raise the alarm. So I could move to 7 up to interrogate that goblin I had foresight about. I could move to location 1, or I could try to pick the lock on this grate. It is a 5 with this kind of gear symbol here. And symbols like that are for skill tests. They're not affected by red or green bonuses. Instead, Soul Raiders will have inherent bonuses against certain types of tests. And in this case, my girl Zia is amazing at gear tests. She would only need a 2 instead of a 5 to flip the location to the B side. So let's see. I'd like to keep Lightning Bolt in case a bunch of enemies come around. Let's use my invisibility. I don't need to hide anywhere yet. All right, so I've picked the lock on this grate. Let's see what is revealed. Well, on the negative side, some more enemies are coming out. I have to resolve this when I flip to the B side. But now I've got a new door I can go into. 5B, right to its B side. Oh no, and at the end of every round now, more enemies are going to spawn. So clearly opening that grate just brought some new friends to the party. So we immediately draw 2 enemies. Wow, you are weak. This means these guys are priority targets. I have to attack them before other enemies, but you can like kill them and hit somebody else in the same attack. So really not that big of a deal. They will go down easily. In fact, here, let's make it incredibly easy. Let's lightning bolt both of them. They each have 3 or less shield value, so done. But I prefer not to stay here and let more spawn. It's a pretty easy move to get through the grate I opened, but I still am kind of curious about that goblin. Ooh, look, this is a 3 plus 3 bonus if I use it for green, so it's a 6 all by itself, which is already enough to go up the stairs to where that goblin to interrogate is hanging out. And I should explain briefly the white arrows versus the green ones. Green ones mean most enemies, if you're engaged with them, won't follow you, so you can move away from enemies that are attacking you, although you have to spend 1 extra movement point for every enemy engaged with you. Now, there are some enemies that have the pursuit special power, which means they will follow you if you run away, even with a green arrow, but usually if you move up a green arrow, all the other enemies will go away, or if you're playing cooperative and someone else is at your location, they'll switch to your friend. So yeah, let's go up here, and here we go. We've seen this before, so we can jump down to location 1, go back to location 9. If we stay here, it's going to flip to the B side, which might be bad for us, we don't know. And we can interrogate the goblin for 4 speaking, which once again, Zia is fairly good at. So the question becomes, I could use my leftover red card to talk to him now. Do we think he's going to like attack us or suddenly do something? Well, let's hope not. We'll use our last card to interrogate him. When you have an icon like this, it means you draw the matching story card, and it will tell you how to proceed. Oh, and in this case, this story card is a minor objective. We need to find the card with a gold star to win no matter what, but in 2, 3, or 4 player, we would need some silver stars as well. So this doesn't really matter at all with only 1 Soul Raider, but would have been important with more. The goblin wakes up with a jolt, feeling the cold steel of your blade pressed against his neck. He answers your questions under pain of imminent death. He claims to be part of the vanguard of a vast army that will arise from the nether regions of the abyss to cleanse this world that has been despoiled by the human race. So we keep this card. This might have some special effect, and we immediately flip to the B location, which would have happened at the end of the round anyway. Oh, and dang it, this is what I hoped would not happen. We're having some more enemies come. And there's an alarm now on the bottom. This is just not good. And in this case, kind of like the story card, they have specific enemies you sometimes draw. So we're going to get enemy 11 and then 2 more random enemies for our current threat level. Here's this jerk, probably the guy we were interrogating. He's pretty weak. Oh, these guys are not weak, though. That's not nice at all. And sadly, we used our last card. I guess interrogating at the end of the round was a bad idea. So in addition to our 2 vitae, we lose 1 vitae, 1 life for each shield. So this guy who's tougher to kill is going to do 2 damage to us instead of 1. Oh, and that's not all. This icon here, the double axes, that means that he doubles the damage we suffer. So we're actually going to take 8 damage. What the heck? You don't rush into talking to goblins, everybody. So that's our normal 2 plus 8 more. Oof. We are almost down to our 2nd level of exhaustion, which means we'll only get 3 cards a turn instead of 4, which, as you can imagine, makes you a lot less effective. But on the positive side, if we murderify all these guys, we're going to get, a story card 15, plus 2 more heroism. That will add up to 3. We can get our first level up card. Let's try to take these guys down in the next round. All right, let's see. Okay, decent numbers. Sadly, only 1 red bonus, so the rest of these won't do anything except their value. Let's hold them this way, that's better. And this one is giving me +1 for every action card if it's used in a fight. So like if I play all 3 of these, it would be 5, 8, 10, and then +1, 2, 3, 13. Now, key thing about combat against people with multiple shields, I already mentioned that they do more damage to you, but additionally, you have to hit them on 2 different instances of playing cards. So in this case, I could play 2, 8, 13 damage to do the first shield for all of them. These guys would be dead. And then a separate play of cards for 4 damage to finish off the second guy. So let's see. Is there any way to do that? Ooh, indeed there is. Indeed there is, I think. 5, 8, 10. Plus 1 per action card. 11, 12, 13. Magic number there. So that's 2 to hit the priority guy. He has to be first. 8 more, 5 more for 13. And this last 5 will be more than enough for the 4 guy there. Dead. Ooh, although wait, I forgot at the end of last round I should have increased the threat by 1. They raise a little alarm, but not a problem. We have quite a ways to go before we get to yellow. So that's 1, 2 heroism. That brings us to the magic number 3 and story card 15. Which says, a thunderous trumpet suddenly sounds in the ruined fortress. What the heck? The alarm has been raised. Clamor and movement can be heard from all sides of the building. You must hurry. We get 2 more threat, and also keep this card. It might influence something later. So yikes, suddenly it doesn't seem that far away. Now these 2 guys go to the generic discard pile, but story enemies when defeated go into their own discard pile, so you know you can't spawn them again. Now I could spend 3 heroism to level up and you immediately get the new card, but let's wait until next round to be able to really go crazy with that. So no enemies this time to activate the alarm, but I'm still losing my 2 vitae. Oof, I am just 1 away from being more exhausted. So I'm still going to get 4 cards this turn, but never again after that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And like planned, let's spend heroism. And you've got these advanced cards that are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. I think in the final version there's going to be 15 per character. And you can spend 3 heroism to get the topmost card, or if you want to dig deeper, you can spend an extra heroism for each one. So like if I really want this Fury spell, I could spend 4 heroism, 3 for the card, plus 1 to skip the topmost one. But whatever, I'm fine with having a really strong attack one. Let's spend 3 for this. And that goes straight into my hand for this turn, so got some lightning bolts, weaken a spell. All enemies in this location lose 1 point of combat value. This spell ends if you leave the location. A lot of movement. All right, I'm ready to go. All right, so let's see. I could spend 5 to go back to location 9, although, man, I just realized I'm going to spawn more enemies when I come in here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Or I could just spend 3 to jump down to location 1 and see what's going on with that. Yeah, you know, I like that option. So this is a 2, but it's times 2 if I'm using it for movement, so that would be 4. I could use this, but it'll be better in combat if that comes up. So let's use this to go to location 1. If any hero, whether or not they are present in this location, has 15, flip this card to side B. Great, we're doing the alarm side of Doom. There is no movement location effect here, but there is. We're going to spawn some guys. Oh, but look. Secret door to location 3. We should check that out. Besides that, we came from location 9. No, we came from 7. We haven't been to 2 yet, but yeah, lots of places to go here. And more enemies coming every round. So we don't want to hang out here, but it seems like that location's an interesting one to go to. And who we got? Oh, just a threat increase, which means we're only 1 away from yellow and a pretty weak enemy. So this will not be tough to beat. So I just need a 3. I just need a 3. I just need 2 to move into that new location. I want to keep my really powerful attack. So, yeah, I guess let's use my lightning bolt. I'll save that to move me. So, bye-bye. And let's keep on keeping on. Let's truck over there for 3 movement. I mean, it is 6 with the bonus, but we don't need it. So we'll go to location 3. You find yourself in a small, dilapidated room that is pierced by large openings leading to a much larger room. Okay, so we're going to spawn 2 more guys. They're going to immediately attack. The eyeball means that if we were invisible, they wouldn't, but we're not. And we'll also get to peek for free at location 4, which we can move to for very cheaply from here. All right. So some new friends spawn. Oof, they are strong. No, that is 2, 3 shields times 2 from the axes. 6 damage when they attack for free, which does move me down into my first level of exhaustion. I'll only draw 3 cards next turn. I doubt I'll be able to kill these guys. Yuck. Yeah. I guess the best I can do is that's 5 plus 3 because I'm attacking, so that's 8. Plus 1 more, I won't use the weaken spell. That's 9. So 5 plus 4, I'll kill this guy and get rid of 1 of his shields. You just mark it with little tokens like that. But then I'm out of turn, so he's going to attack. We count the number of shields. 1, which is still multiplied, so that'll be 2. And I'm still losing 2 vitae every turn, so I'm down to 21. But luckily, no end of round effects. Ooh, I forgot to look at location 4. So this counts as reveal, but I don't have to spawn anybody yet. This room appears to have been renovated recently. The wooden floor creaks underfoot with every step you take. Every step you take. All right, so I'm going to spawn an enemy automatically. Let's see a story card if I'm visible, and then I can climb some stairs at location 6. Okay, so we'll leave that there for now. And let's draw 3 cards, see if we can kill this guy and get out of here. Oh, we certainly can with, like, any of these. Okay, yeah, 2 plus 2 is 4. That's enough. We get another heroism from him by... Now, should I move into the next one? I know that I'm going to spawn a specific enemy, but... Yeah, let's go ahead and try it. So I'll use my 2 card to move 1 to location 4. And that means I get to immediately see story card 5 and enemy 2. Oh, good. Enemy 2 is kind of a wuss. My last card will be able to kill him, and I'll get a heroism and a story card. First, I got to deal with this. A goblin hides in one corner of the room. With an evil laugh, he pulls on a rope. It activates a device, and the gaping maw of a giant trapdoor opens up beneath your feet. 4B. Oh, no. Oh, man, I got to jump. With a 5 movement, you jump out of the way and remain in this location. Otherwise, you fall in, take 5 damage, and move to location 5. Ugh. And in case you were wondering, there is no way to make my 4 red card into 5. No green bonus to help me out. Dang it. In case you're wondering, there's no way for my last 4 card to help me here, so I'm just going to fall. So here we go. A wall of sharp spikes is lowered to the ground before being raised back up in a perpetual deadly motion. Oh, this is not nice. This is not nice. I got to pick the lock to get out of here. And I got to draw story card 7 when I come in. And look, at the end of each round, we add an hourglass token here. And then we suffer damage equal to the base value, which would be 2 with our current threat, plus 3 per hourglass. That'd be 5, and then 8, and then 11 if I couldn't get out of here. By the way, the enemy that was in the other location, he's going to go back in the deck. If I go back to location 4, I'll draw him again. And let's not forget the 5 damage from the fall. I'm even closer to being exhausted again. But hey, I'm not going to wait here for those spikes to follow me. I've got 4 with my plus 3 bonus, just enough to pick the lock. Thank God. So I get story card 6. Wait, I forgot I had to draw 7 first. As the deadly trap begins to close on you, ethereal creatures spring from the walls. What are you doing to me, game? Their mournful wail creates a dizzying clamor that makes your head spin. For the master. 3, 4, 5. You know what? Never mind, I can't do 6 because you can't do tests like picking the lock until there are no enemies with you. And oh my gosh, they are not even nice. What is going on here? So never mind, with my 4 attack plus 2 per red card, I'm going to kill the first one of these guys. And each one gives me 1 heroism, a small favors, I guess. But then at the end of the round, I take my regular 2 vitae loss, plus 1, 2 more, 4 vitae. I add this and take another 2, 3 more, 5. So what is that, 9? I feel a little bit tired, everybody. God. All right, 3 more cards. Come on, give me some big combat attacks. Okay, that'll kill somebody. Ooh, velocity, temporary. All your red bonuses also become green bonuses. No, I need the opposite of that. Oh, well, you know what? This is enough. That is 4 plus 2 per red card, so that's 6. And then 5 plus 1 is another 6. So that'll kill both of these guys. Give me 2 more heroism, which does give me enough to immediately get the top card or the next card, neither of which has a 4 value to pick the dang lock. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm not going to waste it yet. I'll wait for next turn. You know what that means? Some spikes stab me again. So boom, that is 2 plus 6, 8 damage, plus 2 for the regular loss every turn. Oh, this is not good, everybody. We go down to there, I think. And oh, we're only drawing 2 cards. We're so close to being dead. I gotta get out. Okay, 4 plus my 3 bonus. Finally, I pick the lock. The heavy grate won't budge. It is locked with a complex mechanism, but your lockpicking skills provide you with an escape. We switch to 5B. Okay, good. So the dang trap is done. I can get out of here. Oh, it takes me back to location 9? I don't want to go back there. Since I have an attacking card, I'm going to spend my 3 heroism. I'm going to get Fury. So it's a 3, or I can use it as a spell. All your green bonuses are also red bonuses for this turn. Single use means it goes out of my deck for the rest of this scenario. So I'm not going to use it for that ability. All right, so 3 to move out. I go back to our old friend, location 9, which is going to spawn 2 monsters. Oh, Lord help me. Oh, it's another ghost and a big orc, and I've got 4 plus 1 per enemy. That would get me to 6. Not quite enough to kill them both. But then 2 more guys are going to spawn at the end of the round. Oh, man. You know what I just realized? If I'd gone through that trap door I opened, then look, 5 would have already been the safer version of the location. I never would have had to deal with the trap. Come on. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. I think I'm in kind of a death spiral here. I guess I'll go ahead and kill this guy. He's got the pursuit ability, whereas this guy doesn't, and maybe the new enemies spawn won't have it either, and I can try to get away from everybody. So that means I'll take 1 vitae loss, plus 2 more. I'm very close to an auto loss. And even 2 more enemies are coming. Thank God that the threat level is not increased to yellow yet. Oh, never mind. Now it did. So I have the same enemies as before, but for the rest of the game, I'm now in 3 territory for enemies spawning and damage and such. So let's draw my 2 cards. It's not much. Okay, they're pretty powerful ones. Almost go to location 1 or 7, but man. So to move to location 7, I would need 8 movement, which would use both my cards, but Only this guy would follow me and not him. Oh no, that's right. I can't even run away while there's somebody with a great icon blocking me. So really all I can do is kill these guys with both my cards, but then do nothing else. I don't want to run back to room 5. Actually here, at least location 7 doesn't have any spawning. So I'm going to play this for 5 plus 1 per action card, 6. That's way more than I need, but I'll kill the guy who's blocking my movement. Then I'll play this for 5 plus 2 per green card, 7, which is enough to go up to location 7 and plus 1 for the enemy on me. Now, even though it's green, since he has the pursuit icon, he is going to follow me. But these are blue effects, which means they're resolved when it flips to its B side, as opposed to the red effects here, which means it's resolved when you move in there. So all that's going to happen this turn is this guy's going to hit me, and I'm going to get an alarm for more threats. So that's 3 Vitae loss, or no, that's right, 4 now, and an alarm. 1, 2, 3, 4, and still in yellow. All right, now I get 2 cards. Oh, and they are the worst. Well, I guess not really the worst. All right, whatever. I'm just going to do 4 damage, defeat the enemy on me. At least no one's raising an alarm. So I just lose my basic 3, but time is short. Alrighty, let's get 2 cards, and hopefully I can jump down to 1 and keep going. Alright, so to jump down to 1, that would cost 3. And again, it's a blue icon, so nobody will immediately spawn unless I stay there. So yeah, I think I'm going to spend this card to jump down to 1. Nothing happens immediately. And then spend this card to run until location 3. Some enemies are going to show up and they're going to attack me for free. So I'll probably be dead. But so it goes, right? I don't have any way to become invisible. So it's 3 enemies because of the new threat value. Oh, and threat increases another 1 to the last space of yellow. But luckily, no double damage. They're pretty weak, so I just take 2 Vitae plus my normal 3 when they attack. Oh, that's right. Then they attack me again at the end of the round. This is only a free attack. So that's 2, 4, 7 total. So I'm down to 10. Oh my gosh. Watch Mike slowly die. Ooh, lightning bolt. Kill both of them. I like that at least. And even though our goblin friend will show up to try to pull the lever again, I'm going to move into the next location. So story card 5 can't happen again, but story card enemy 2 is there. He hits me for 1. That's 1 plus 3. I'm down to 6. My only hope of winning here basically is killing this guy and him being like the boss of everything, but it seems doubtful. All right. Well, I've got enough to murder him. There we go. So I get story card 4 and a heroism. After defeating the goblin, you discover that he was carrying a flask. The label indicates it's an antidote. Discard this potion at any time to clear all the poison from your hero. That would be good. So I would get rid of story card 5 if I had it, and keep this card until used. All right. But then sadly, I do not have enough movement to see what's in room 6. I've just got this attack card. So I'll put that in my reserve. Again, I can discard a card to get that back as a replacement. I can feel my life just seeping away. Last turn, everybody. Damn it, I'm at least going to get up those stairs. So here we go. 5 plus 2 per green card. That's more than enough. Let's head up. You hear voices coming from a balcony close at hand, but the wraith who drew you to this place is here and strikes. Hey, it's the person I want. So we're going to discard card 5, which I don't have. We're going to increase threat to red. Lovely. Spawn enemy 2, enemy 7. We can take a look at the decaying balcony once all the enemies are dead. We could go to room 4. It'll flip at the end of the round, though there is no end of the round for us. Oh, interesting, though. Look, enemy 2 is already dead, so I don't have to face him. So it's just this wraith. 7 attack. And I've got 3, or I could change it out for 4. Well, that is all she wrote, folks. I am dead. Ran out of Vitae, ran out of time. And helpfully for losers like me, they've got a defeat card. The ties that bind your wrists and ankles cut into your flesh. The post you've been lashed to digs into your back. 2 monsters are carrying you. With each jolt, a wave of splinters is driven into your skin. They're going down a staircase that seems like it will never end. Since the beginning of this venture, everything seems to have emerged from a dream. Forest, fortress, goblins. But nothing has ever felt so real as the excruciating pain of defeat that grips your heart. You have no way of warning the others. You won't be able to save anyone. This horde of creatures will soon be unleashed on the world, and you are unable to do anything to stop them. Hold on a minute. No, not you. That's what's wrong here. This didn't happen to you. At that moment, apprentice, you awaken. You may start this chapter again with the hero of your choice. The memory of your previous attempts still fresh in your mind will be interpreted as your hero's intuition. You must not keep anything from this round. No heroic cards or tokens, no potion, etc. Put the elements from this chapter back in a numerical order and start again. So if you lose, you can try again. And now I would know some of the less happy rooms to go into, like maybe keep enough movement to jump over the pit trap. That's certainly what did me in. But there you go, that was a very quick solo playthrough of the prologue of Soul Raiders. The full missions in the game apparently are at least 4 times as long as this one just was, and clearly we didn't see everything. But if you'd like to hear my thoughts on the game from the few times I've played it so far, hang on. All right, so thoughts on Soul Raiders. First of all, I like these location cards. I like how big they are, how you can kind of like see and sort of thematically explain to yourself where you're going, how they have like surprises to discover, like, oh, a giant pit trap. Oh, whoops, I just realized this card should have been flipped because of that pit trap, which would have made it tougher to go up the stairs. So they have like lots of fun little tricks like that are thematic. I think that's pretty cool. Now, what I'm not sure about with this mechanic is how replayable things are going to be. I've played through the prologue about 3 times total, and I still found some new things there. I found some bad things in the playthrough you just watched. But, I'm not sure if I would want to play through it like 2 or 3 more times. That might be all there was to see. But again, the full scenarios in the game are theoretically going to be much longer than this, so that wouldn't necessarily be an issue. Now, as for the core mechanics, I really like these cards. I think this is a very smooth, incredibly simple to teach system, just having basically 2 types plus spells. The spells are neat. I'm sure as you unlock more of them, it's going to be even more fun. The fact that some players and some characters have their own kind of tricks is cool. And just like playing cards that add up to numbers and having that be the consistent way you deal with combat, with movement, with doing tests and like passing things and unlocking things. I think it's a very smooth resolution system and also gives a bit of like a little puzzle-ish feel to using your hand each round. So I think that's pretty neat. The part that I'm less thrilled about in relation to the cards is the exhaustion mechanic, because if you saw at the end of my playthrough, this is the worst one I've had, by the way. I had more success the first time. It's not fun to draw only 2 cards a turn. Like, you literally feel like you can't do almost anything. And hey, that's thematic, but it's kind of like Gloomhaven when you're almost exhausted. You only have like 3 or 4 cards left in your deck. That's not when the puzzle and the tactical choices are at their most fun. So this I don't like. I would rather them penalize you in other ways. Like, I think the threat track works well for you to take more damage every turn and more enemies to come. But just having like half as much to do every turn and like being locked into things and kind of feeling the dread of just slowly losing, that's not that exciting to me. I would love for them to maybe think about altering that somehow. As for the story and the theme, I think it seems pretty neat. I like kind of the characters that you're inhabiting, how they're presented as so powerful. And I think it's really borne out well by the combat, that you can destroy like 5 or 6 guys in a single turn, no problem. I think that's a lot of fun, and I think it really sells that you are like this elite kind of super warrior wizard character. So yeah, Soul Raiders is absolutely a game I want to see more of, I want to play more of, but I'll be honest, I saw so little, just this short little prologue, that I can't 100% recommend it or advise you against it. I think the core gameplay is cool, not sure about the exhaustion mechanic, I'd like them to look at that again. But besides that, I think the game is really fun, offers a lot of cool narrative, has kind of its own take on adventure gaming. I like kind of the world I'm going to be exploring. I think seeing other adventures would be really neat. So I think I'm probably in for this one, but again, it'll kind of depend on how the campaign plays out. So as of this video, I'm not sure if the campaign is live or not. I should have a link in the video description. Check it out for yourself and see what you think. But for now, good gaming. Thanks for watching my demise. Sorry, Zaya, I didn't do you right. But good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next step.